In this video, we're covering 4 major humanoid robot stories, all making headlines this week. In China, a robot named Shuang Shuang walked on stage at a real high school graduation and received a diploma completely on its own. In Italy, iRonCub 3 became the first humanoid robot to fly using real jet engines and artificial intelligence flight control. In Detroit, a robot named Zion is walking the streets, shaking hands and interacting with the public. And in Beijing, humanoid robots played a full soccer match with no remote control, every move powered by artificial intelligence. Let's get started. On July 1st, in China's Fujian province, during the 25th graduation ceremony of Shuangxi High School, a humanoid robot named Shuang Shuang walked across the stage. And no, that's not metaphor or marketing spin. This robot literally stepped forward, shook hands with a teacher, accepted a graduation certificate, and posed for photos in front of hundreds of stunned onlookers. Shuang Shuang, whose name translates to bright, wasn't part of a closed-door demo for engineers or a late-night tech showcase. This was a fully public display planned and presented at a milestone event, a graduation ceremony. And instead of rolling forward like a mall delivery bot or trembling awkwardly like a research prototype, Shuang Shuang moved with surprising poise. It paused before stepping, advanced with clear intent, and reached out with robotic precision to accept the certificate, which it then tucked gently into a tote bag slung under its metallic arm. Then it did something uncanny. It turned, faced the crowd, and held its position just long enough for what looked like a yearbook photo, except this wasn't a student, it was a machine. On the surface, it might seem like a gimmick, a publicity stunt to stir applause, but take a step back and you'll realize what this really was, a cultural moment. The decision to have a robot participate in such a deeply human tradition wasn't made lightly. Graduation isn't just a celebration, it's a rite of passage. By placing Shuang Shuang in the middle of it, the organizers weren't just showing off technology, they were sending a clear message. Robots are no longer tools, they're part of the scene. And this wasn't an isolated act. According to coverage by Fox Business and the New York Post, this is part of a much larger, coordinated movement within China, a national push to dominate the humanoid robotics sector. Unlike the United States, where humanoid projects are primarily the work of private companies like Tesla with its Optimus prototype, China is approaching this challenge with centralized coordination. The government and private industry are aligned in a clear mission: accelerate humanoid development and, crucially, normalize their presence in society. That's why Shuang Shuang's appearance matters. It wasn't just about capability, it was about visibility. Humanoids are no longer confined to research labs or factory floors. They're showing up in symbolic public roles, at milestones and ceremonies, even in the emotional highlights of human life. This was never just a tech reveal, it was a social experiment dressed as a celebration. But if you think robots showing up at graduation is impressive, wait until you hear what just happened in Italy. Because while Shuang Shuang was walking across a stage, another humanoid robot, one with a jetpack, was taking flight. Meet iRonCub 3, the world's first humanoid robot to achieve jet-powered vertical liftoff. That's not science fiction, it's not clickbait, it's fact, backed by scientific research, wind tunnel tests, and live demonstrations. Designed by the Istituto Italiano di Tecnologia, iRonCub 3 recently completed its first successful flight, a stable hover at around 50 centimeters off the ground, powered entirely by 4 miniaturized jet turbines, 2 mounted on its arms, 2 on its back. Let that sink in. A humanoid robot with arms, legs, and a center of gravity that shifts like a human's, lifting off the ground without cables, without rails, and without collapsing under its own weight. And iRonCub 3 didn't come out of nowhere, it's the latest evolution in the long-running iCub project, an open-source humanoid research platform originally built for artificial intelligence and cognitive development studies, but this latest iteration takes things into superhero territory. This isn't a robot rolling down a hallway or waving from a stage. This is a jet-powered machine, flying, adjusting, and hovering in real time. The engineering challenge behind that is massive. Flying with a human-like structure is incredibly unstable. Drones are easy by comparison, symmetrical, lightweight, and compact, but humanoids are tall, unbalanced, and heavy. iRonCub 3 weighs about 70 kilograms and includes dozens of joints and moving parts that affect its center of mass with every gesture. To make flight even possible, the IIT team had to rethink everything. The spine was replaced with titanium for maximum strength. The outer shell was upgraded with heat-resistant materials that could survive turbine exhaust temperatures reaching up to 800 degrees Celsius. And the limbs were reinforced and redesigned to remain rigid under turbulent thrust. Combined, the 4 jet turbines deliver over 1,000 newtons of thrust, enough to lift and stabilize the robot. But here's where things get wild. iRonCub 3's flight is not pre-programmed. It's artificial intelligence controlled. The robot uses real-time calculations to manage pitch, yaw, and thrust balance. No human joystick, no pre-recorded trajectory. It learns and adapts on the fly, literally. The team used computational fluid dynamics simulations and ran wind tunnel tests with the Polytechnic of Milan. They also collaborated with Stanford University to develop deep learning models that predict aerodynamic behavior in real time. Those models are now embedded in the robot's onboard flight controller. That means when iRonCub 3 lifts off, it's not just reacting, it's thinking. And this isn't some flashy research flex. The IIT team is already planning field testing at Genoa Airport with real-world applications in mind. Think disaster zones, collapsed buildings, flooded areas, anywhere humans can't reach easily but where a flying humanoid could land, assist, or assess. Now let's shift gears from soaring above rooftops to walking among people. Because over in Detroit, Michigan, another humanoid is making headlines, not for flying, but for blending in. The robot is named Zion, and unlike most bots designed for labs or manufacturing, Zion wasn't built to perform a task. It was designed to be seen, to be social, to interact with people, not through a screen, but in real time, on real streets. Created by local tech entrepreneur Art Cartwright, Zion was developed as a sort of STEM ambassador, a robot designed to capture public imagination and spark dialogue around robotics and artificial intelligence. And how did Cartwright do that? By sending Zion out into the wild. Zion has been spotted walking around Detroit's 7-mile road, shaking hands with pedestrians, posing for selfies, and greeting kids. Not in a fenced-off demo zone, but right there on the sidewalk. Unscripted, unrehearsed, and unafraid. The reactions have been as varied as you'd expect. Some people were mesmerized, others were uncomfortable. One person smiled and called it beautiful. Another asked how long until someone tries to knock it over. Zion isn't just a machine in a public space. It's a social experiment wrapped in a humanoid frame. It exists to test how people react when a robot walks into their world. No introduction, no warning. It's not in a factory, it's not delivering pizza, it's just there. Zion's next appearance will be at Cartwright's own RoboWar showcase, part robotics competition, part public engagement event. But honestly, Zion's true test has already happened. Not in a stadium, on a sidewalk, among strangers, where it made people look twice and question how they feel about machines that don't stay behind glass anymore. And now, let's finish on a note that's more fun, but no less groundbreaking. In Beijing, something truly wild went down, a 3-on-3 soccer tournament featuring fully autonomous humanoid robots. No remote control, no operators, just 6 machines on a field chasing a ball, making decisions, and playing the world's most unpredictable sport in real time. This event, featuring university teams from across China, was more than a novelty. It was a high-stakes preview of the upcoming World Humanoid Robot Games, and it didn't disappoint. Each robot was built on the T1 platform developed by Booster Robotics, but what made the event compelling wasn't the hardware, it was the software. Each team brought its own stack, artificial intelligence systems trained to detect the ball, assess field positions, anticipate opponent movement, and execute coordinated strategies. Think of it like robot FIFA, with every play computed on the fly. The visuals were incredible. Robots sprinting, pivoting, scanning, intercepting. Some stumbled, some face-planted, but others got back up and kept playing. They passed, they blocked, they scored. In the final match, Tsinghua University beat China Agricultural University 5-3, a real result driven by algorithmic skill. Cheng Gao, chief executive officer of Booster Robotics, made it clear sports like soccer are the ideal testing ground. You got constant motion, collision risk, tactical adaptation, all perfect for stress testing artificial intelligence and mechanical systems in real time. But there's a deeper strategy here too. By hosting these events publicly, China is training the tech and the culture. It's not just a game, it's exposure therapy for a humanoid future. This is it for now. If you want to stay ahead of what's coming next, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.